Hello, everyone, and welcome to Makeover Monday 2021, week 36. Watch Me Viz. If someone could please let me know when they get a chance whether you can hear me or not, that would be wonderful. So, this week we are looking at the opinions of Americans towards abortion. And I chose this topic this week because of everything that's going on in Texas and basically the way that the the old white men in Texas are now taking away rights from women. Very sneaky the way that they did it as well. But I thought maybe this would be an appropriate data set for this week. So the first thing is, here's the original visualization. You can see that there are three different lines here. There's one, the green line is, and sorry for any background noise, we've had a new cohort start today, so they're having a coffee right by me right now. So this particular chart here looks like it's over time. Yeah, it goes from 1975 to 2021, and it asks a pretty simple question: do you think abortion should be legal under any circumstances, legal only under certain circumstances, or illegal in all circumstances? And that's what each of the three lines represents. I see some lines that are labeled, or sorry, some marks that are labeled. I'm not quite sure why. But I think the visualization is okay. I don't know about the dotted line at the bottom. I probably would just make that a different color. I might even make the two ones that are legal, so that the solid green and the navy blue, I'd probably make them both the same color but maybe different shades. So if they're blue, maybe one is a dark blue and one is a light blue or something like that. I found this article through I found this visualization through an article by 538, and it goes through kind of a lot of the background of it, of the law that was passed, and it does say that women in Texas still theoretically have the right to an abortion, but almost none will be able to get one. So this is because of the way that the law has been written that bans abortion after cardiac activity can be detected, which is basically 6 weeks, which is very few women know that they're pregnant at that point. And let's see. So broadly, Americans have opposed overturning Roe versus Wade. And so this is kind of the important section here. Americans' attitudes on whether states should be reinstated, should be able to restrict abortion, are muddled with their stance, are more muddled than their stance on Roe versus Wade. So again, same type of chart, but this is a good example of how they use the same color for legal, the green for the darker green for under any circumstance, and the lighter green for only under circumstances, and then illegal is a pretty contrasting color. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, if anybody on the live stream could let me know if you can hear me, that would be great. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I've got the data set open in Tableau, and I'm going to need to view this data as a time series to make it look like sort of something resembling this visualization. And I'll show you in a second why that needs to be done. So we have this column here called poll date, and it basically has the range of the polls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first number for each of these. So I'll take 2021 May 13, and then maybe down here I'll take 2011 June 9th, something like that. So to do that, I'm going to first just split the data. And you'll see Tableau splits it. It looked like it split it by the hyphen, but I don't need this second part. So let me go ahead and delete that. Okay, thank you, Hans. I appreciate that. Now we have this that kind of looks like a date, but it's not showing up as a date. So I'm going to just hit the little data type indicator and change it to a date field. And there we go. Now we have a date. So I'm going to just rename this one as poll date. And the other thing I might do is I'm going to create another field that combines these two, just in case I need it later. So I'm going to create a calculated field, and I'm just going to add them together. Okay, so I'm going to call this one pro life. And I think isn't that how they, as it might have a hyphen in it. Let me look that up. So, pro-life. I don't remember if it's with a hyphen or not. Pro-life. Okay. Pro-life, yeah. So it should have, let me just rename this field. And that's called pro-life. Okay, and then illegal and all, I'm going to rename that one to anti-abortion. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to probably end up combining those two, but let's now look at the data set. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that original poll date. And I'm going to put, it doesn't really matter which field I put in here for the purpose of this demonstration. So it's not a time series, it's just a text field now. So I'm going to change the data type to a line. And you'll see it kind of looks like a time series, but the problem here is we have, for example, 1975 to 1975 to 1977, and there's just one mark right next to each other. So every mark, despite the amount of time, is showing the same space between them. So it's not really giving you a good example of the gap between the poles. So if I look back to the original, this visualization by 538, you can see you've got these longer lines here. Let me turn on my little cursor control. Come on. Oh, I think I hit the wrong button. 1 second, please. Okay. So if you look at this kind of part of the view here, you can see there's a longer gap in the data. Whereas if we look at this one, you can see there's just all of the dots are the same gap from each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my poll date field instead, and I'm going to just make it, well, I just can do that. Let me just start over. So I'm going to bring on the poll date, and if I look at continuous, we can see now we've got this big spike, so something's not right there. Legal only under certain circumstances. So what's the poll date? 1989. Okay, so something's not right with the data. So let me go back to the data set. Maybe it's with the way that I calculated it, because I tried to convert everything to a percentage. So this is, oops. This looks like it is July 6th of, maybe, I bet you there were 2 polls. It's probably what it was. Let's see. Let's see, what date was it again? I've already forgotten. So this is July 6th of 1989. Okay. Yeah, so these two are being combined. That's why I'm getting that. So I'm going to just change my aggregation. So I'm going to actually highlight all of these and change the default aggregation to an average. And then if I bring this on here, you'll see now that, okay, that's better. But you can see now I've got this bigger gap between the dates like the original has. So hopefully that helps explain why you would want to convert this into a date. So to rebuild the original, I'm going to go ahead and drag the other field onto the on top of the axis to give me a shared axis, and then I'm going to put the anti-abortion on there as well, and we get those 3 lines. Let me close this now. We don't need that. And if I scroll back up here, we can see we've got something very similar here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my colors, and let's see, so I'm trying to see what colors we have here. So we've got a light green to dark green and some kind of purple. So let's maybe go to our greens, and we'll have a dark green, maybe a lighter green, and then this one's going to be, I've got some bright purples here. Oops. Let's see, color blue or purple, and maybe I'll make it something like that. Okay, so we're getting closer to the original graphic. I think I've got these backwards. I'll show you another way. I could always just double click on that, bring up my color picker, And then I would go here. Oh, that didn't work. Color picker. Okay, so that's legal under any, oh, no, wrong one. Okay. And then legal under any would be this one. And then anti-abortion would be this one. Okay, so it didn't change that one much. And we've got a couple of overlapping lines. All right, I'm going to make them slightly thicker. Maybe something like that. I'm going to label the ends of the lines. Okay, so we get something like that. Actually, but I'm just going to maybe make it most recent. There we go. And then I should change all of these to be a percentage. So default properties, number format, percentage to 0 decimals. Okay, and then I'll change the font to match the mark color, and then maybe make it Tableau bold or something like that, semi-bold, and have it a bit bigger, 11, something like that. Okay, so now we're pretty close to the visualization done by 538, and then we probably need to format this as well, and make it a percentage to 0 decimals. All right, I'm gonna edit this axis, and I want it to match the original, which only goes every 10%. So I'm going to set it to fixed. Interval is 0.1. Okay, so that's good. And I'm going to do a bit of formatting. So it does have grid lines. So those would be my row grid lines. It makes them a bit darker. Yes, that looks good. There should be no axis rulers. Okay. This axis looks like it should go from, so tick marks fixed is 1/1/1975, and it looks like it goes every 5 years. Oops. Okay, let's close that. And we've got something like that. So that looks good. All right. I'm going to edit the axis again. I'm going to get rid of the title. And then same thing here. Let's get rid of the title. Okay. Almost done with the formatting. It looks like they've got a bit of a lighter gray font on the axis. So I'm going to format the axis. And I'm going to maybe make it, let's see what that looks like. That's a bit too light. Probably something like that. They have a different font as well. I'm going to make that a bit wider. And then let's make this one also that color. Yeah, so there we go, something like that. I don't remember what font they use, but maybe we can find out. So let's inspect. And let's choose this and maybe go to, come on. Okay, so it has, I wonder if it tells me what font it is. So image. Yeah. Okay. So let's see over here on the left hand side if we can see what font it is. Doesn't look like we can. Okay, that's all right. Not going to really worry about it too much. So that's, yeah, so that's kind of how you would rebuild the original visualization. Maybe I'll set my row grid lines to be a bit lighter. Something like that. All right, so this is the original, which I like. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this sheet. And instead of having, you know, legal only and etc., I'm going to put pro-life on here. And okay, So now we can see we've got 80% are pro-life and 20% are or 19% are anti-abortion, and then no opinion would be the remainder. But I'm not going to really worry about the remainder so much. Okay, so we've got that. So this is, yeah, I'll just call it original 2. It doesn't matter. Now there is a visualization. I wonder if we could put maybe an average line. No, we want to do maybe a trend line for each color. Okay, that doesn't really tell me a whole lot. Okay, so what I could do now is let me duplicate this again, and I'm going to look at the difference between the two. So I'm going to create another calculated field. That is the difference. And I'm going to do pro-life minus anti-abortion. And I'm going to put that on the values. Default properties, number format, percentage, 0 decimals. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so maybe this is where maybe it's useful to put the lines on the beginning and the end. And let's see, so the value I want to have on there is the difference. Okay, it says, yeah. Okay, and then maybe I choose that green again, and something like that. Okay, so this is now showing us the difference between the pro-life. So this is pro-life versus anti-abortion. I think pro-life isn't the right thing. I'm using the wrong word here. It's not pro-life. This is pro-choice. That was pretty dumb. Yeah, sorry about that. That's a pretty silly mistake to make there. Okay. So this is the difference between them. Okay, that's not very useful. So let's maybe make this discrete. Oops. Let's make it discrete. And then we want to see now that it's discrete, it's not showing us the difference, the nice little gap in the data. So show missing values. Okay, and now if we make it a bar. Okay, yes, that's too hard to see. So let me go back to my line chart. Okay, so something like that. It would probably also be useful to maybe label the min and the max, but we can probably come back to that. Okay, so there's another visualization that I looked at quite a while ago that I really like. So this one in particular, sorry, I know it's a bit hard to make out. But what this one is showing you is it's giving you a marker for the high, labeling the ends of the lines like we have, and then on the end of the line is showing the percent change along with the label. So I wonder if we can do rebuild something like this. Let's give it a try and see what happens. So I'm going to duplicate this sheet because I don't want to mess up what I have already, and I'm going to change my mark label. Let's see, we can still label the end of the line, but we want to label both ends. So again, I'm going to choose min-max. The reason I'm choosing min-max is because I like the little circles that go on the ends of the line. And I'm going to put measure values onto the label. Okay, and okay, so that's the labels on the ends of the lines. Let me change those. I don't want those to be semi-bold. I'll just make them Tableau book and maybe a bit smaller. Okay, something like that. I now want to also label the high point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a calculated field. So max value. And I want to say if pro-choice, let's see, equals window max average pro choice. Then I want to return the average pro choice. Okay, so let's call this pro choice. All right, I'm going to test it with this before I do anything else. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to make this a dual axis chart. So let's mark type circle, and let's make it a dual axis, and let's synchronize. Okay, so these are both 85%. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate that. Oh, this isn't going to work because I can't have okay. So what I was going to do is try to use the dual axis twice, but I can't do that. I would have to reshape the data. Okay, so let me get rid of that then. Okay, maybe I could try, let me put pro choice on here again, and I want to do a quick add a table calc, and I want to do, I don't know, let's just make it a difference from, no, let's not do that. Let's get rid of that. Oh, go away. Okay. I'll try it this way instead, so let me change this, and I'm just going to do window max. Come on. And then let's edit this one, and let's call this one anti. Okay, and we want to do something like this. Okay, so I should be able to also put the anti-abortion max and the pro-choice max onto the label shelf as well. And I want these to be compute using edit table calc, table across. Okay, so that's all right. So okay, so I want to do okay, so that's not going to work. Let's call this first pro choice. So I need to get the 85% at the 85% mark, but I also, well, maybe I could do it this way. Let's see. Let me just get rid of that. Let's take the anti-abortion max, but see, that's going to give me a reference line, which I don't want. Okay. Okay, we're going to figure this out another way. So let's call this pro choice first. And I'm going to say if year of poll date equals 1975, then I want to return the pro choice and otherwise nothing. Oops. Okay. Oh, wrong poll date. Okay, so if I put that on the label, I'm going to get rid of measure names. Okay. Shoot. Okay. Okay, so this, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be able to rebuild this original one then. Okay, so let me just get rid of these two fields. Okay, so we've got that. And then this one is the difference between the two. Let me go back here to this picture that I was looking at. Oh wait, I can just do this with a table calculation. So I'm going to bring in pro choice here again. And I want to add a table calc, oops. And I want this to be the difference from table across relative to first by pull dates. Okay. And then if I put that onto label, see again, I'm getting both marks labeled here, which I don't want. Okay. So let's see if we can work around this another way. So let me get rid of that. And if I mark label annotate mark, let's just hit OK. Okay, so that would be, this might work. It's not very good, but it might work. Yeah, so that would be 80%, and then it would be, okay, so I need to get rid of that. Okay, so we don't want that. Okay, so we're back to this original here, and then so what I could do here is I could put the difference on here again and make this a table calc. Difference from first. Okay. And then let's put that on label. 8%, 0%. Okay. So this is difference from first. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to edit this, and I'm going to say if last equals 0, then run this calculation. So that means only run this calculation if I'm on the last mark. Okay, so now if I hit apply, I should only get that mark at the end. Okay, so that's good. Default properties, number format, percentage, 1 decimal, or no decimals. But I'm going to change that to a plus. Okay. What happened there? Difference from first. Oh, forgot the percentage sign. Oops. Okay, so plus 8%. All right, I'm going to go back to this and go back to my min-max pull date, but then I want to put measure values on the label. Okay, so what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to So this is going to be my difference from first. So if I put that on label, what does it do? Plus 8%. Okay. Okay. So that's 5%. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and then let's duplicate that. And let's call this anti-abortion. Difference from first. And then instead of, let me make this window bigger, I'm going to have anti-abortion and anti-abortion. Okay, let's put that here. Edit the table calc. Table across. No, this should be fine. And let's put this on label. Minus 3%. Okay, good. So we can now default properties, number format, percentage, 0 decimals, and I want to put plus 0.0 and then comma minus 0%. So Nicole, can I always show the max marks? That's what I was trying to do, but it didn't quite work out that way. But I'm going to still try to work around that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit the, I'm going to let's see, so how can I, let's see. Okay, so I need to tell this if last equals 0, and then that. And now that mark should just show up on the end of the one end of the line, and then edit last equals 0, then that, end. Okay, so now I only see them on the ends of the lines, so that's good. But the problem now is I don't want to see, the problem now is I'm seeing, okay, so what I could do then is I could mark label always show. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. Okay. All right. So if I go back to this one, I mean, I could just get rid of these. And if I, so I've got the labels, so I've got these kind of two labels here, the beginning and the end of the line, and so that's good. And then I'm going to change these to be, let's put them below, and center, so something like that. Okay. This will be when it's really useful to have measure names in a calculation. I could reshape the data, but I don't want to. I don't want to start all over again. Um, okay, so all right. So if I change this axis, if I make it fixed to go to like 2024. Okay, let's maybe make it start at 1970. Okay, so now I've got a bit more room on the end of the line, and I could maybe do something like, so I'm just going to annotate an area, and I'm going to put in here pro choice, and then it is plus, I'm just going to manually type it in 5%. And I need to pick my color. Okay. So it looks like, okay, and then this should be a nice big font. Okay, I can get this out of the way in a minute. Okay, so it would be something like that. And let me go in here again. Let me make this maybe a smaller font. Make this a bigger font. Okay, and then down here, I'm going to annotate an area. And we'll call this, so this would be, what, 8-point anti-abortion. And it is -3%. And this one's going to be 22. I'm going to choose 20-point, I think. And this is going to be bold. And then the color for these is going to be, oops, this color here. I think is that the same font size font, so 20. Okay, there we go. Okay, so maybe I'll leave it like this for now. I'm just going to stick it in a dashboard. So let's maybe make it 900 by 600. Let's get rid of the phone. And where is this sheet? I think it's, is it this one? I think it's this one. Okay, we can get rid of that. Okay, so 0, 0, 900, 600. Okay, and then, sorry, you probably can hear a lot of background noise now. Okay. Oh, my mouse got messed up there. Right, okay, so let me put some inner padding on this. And then I'm going to show the caption. Okay. All right, now I'll come back to the title in a minute. So I'm going to do a bit more formatting here. And I'm going to, let's format this axis. I'm going to make it a lighter axis. I want to make it a lighter shade. Same thing here, let's make it a lighter shade. All right, and then I need to have room for these, so I'm going to I'm going to extend this axis out to like 2029. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, so now I can manually move this up here. And then I could do the same thing here. It's hard because it's really hard to get these exactly the same size. Okay, so let's get rid of the shading. No shading, no line end. Let me go this again. No line end. Okay. I'll say okay, so maybe something like that. Okay, so maybe I label one of these as well. Mark label always show. Oops. Mark label always show. Okay, and then I need to change the label. I'm just going to need to make it automatic and automatic. There we go. Okay, and then where's my max here? So this is my max, 22%, so 23%. Okay, and then my lowest is 1975, or is 75%. Okay, and then the lowest 12. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all right. Maybe I'll edit this axis to give it a bit more room at the top. So 0 to, let's say, 95. Oh, no, 0.95. Okay, I'm going to make it 0.89 because I don't want to see the 90%. Oh. Okay. Something like that. Right, so now maybe I could change the way this looks. So let's format this, and I could make it a single edge, maybe. Let's make it a line. So that didn't work. Border, none. What happened to my single? Oh, I need to show the line, I think. Why is that not working? Okay. Huh. I would have expected when I choose single edge and then I put a border on that it would show me just the one side of it. But that doesn't look like it works. Okay. So I think I'm going to make this maybe I just want to make sure that this has enough room where it can kind of stand on its own. Okay, so let's maybe do it something like that. Okay. And let me change the start as well to be 1971. Okay, now why is this label over here? A lot of manual fussing around with this, which is really annoying. Okay, so okay, so next thing I need then is a title. Okay, so I need something. So what is this? This just has the question. Okay. So that's not quite what I want to do. I'm going to say how have American how has American support for abortion changed since 1975? We can maybe make this like 11 point. That's probably going to be too big. Okay. Okay, so maybe something like that. Let me move this over ever so slightly. Same thing with this one. Let's move it ever so slightly over. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm pretty happy with this. I think I do need to change my axis up because I feel like it's running too close to the title. Oops. What happened there? Something happened. Okay. Let's maybe make this something like that. All right. So I wonder if I need to have the grid lines. And then maybe this could be every 20% instead of every 10%. Okay, let's edit that again. Let's maybe make it every 25%. Yes, I don't like that. So let's go back. Maybe what I could do then is I could put, I think that's fine. And maybe what I'll do, I don't know if this will help or not, but maybe if I put a reference line on analytics, and sorry, a constant line on the measure values at 0.5. So let's edit that. We'll show no value, no tooltip. I'll just leave it like that for now. What does that look like if we put it like that? Now that makes it look like it's got two different sections. So format, if we make it a thin line, okay, that's not too bad. All right, so I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you everybody for tuning in this week. I know all I really did was rebuild the original or something close to this chart from 538, but that's okay. I really like the chart, so sometimes just rebuilding one is a really good way to learn. Yeah, maybe if I make it 800 by 800 by 700, something like that. No, let's make it, there we go, maybe 900 by 700 or 900 by 800. Yeah, maybe 900 by 700. Okay, there we go. So it doesn't look like there's any more questions I haven't answered. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.